Good morning and welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Stick around, I'm going to tell you if body count matters for men and women. But first, this. You have to be strong enough to endure these things. You have to approach women. With today's social media, she's constantly being hit on. Women are always in the game. You have to stay focused. We are men. That's what we do. All right, let's get after it. The reason I'm doing this topic today, but first, like and subscribe now. And thank you to my 1,366 subscribers now. I appreciate you. Because if you weren't here, I wouldn't be here. All right, let's go. I watched this video the other day, but I thought about it this morning. I'm not sure what the reason was, but it popped into my head, so that's what I'm supposed to be doing today. It's Rollo Tomasi, and the title is Women Don't Want to Know This From You, but you want to know this from them, body count. So these two women, I think one of them's name is Torsia, not sure what the other one is, but the interviewer is asking this one about body count. Listen to what she has to say. Okay, let's go.
You've told a guy how many partners you've been with.
Yeah, we're all
What happened?
human, so we all have these, needs and wants. And I've always been honest. Anytime the topic comes up, which I always kind of hope it doesn't, with one part.
She says she's always been honest. I beg to differ there. A woman's idea of honesty and a man's idea of honesty are two completely different things. Let me give you an example. Okay, you have a girlfriend. You've been dating for a year. She happens to meet some guy when she's on vacation with her family. Goes out with him, has a few drinks, has sex with him. Maybe she uses or tells him to use a condom. Okay, she wakes up the next day. She never sees this guy again. She had a great time with him, but in her mind, she didn't cheat. Do you understand why? Because with you, she doesn't use a condom, and she was drunk, and it didn't mean anything. So for her to say, no, I've never cheated on you, in her mind, she hasn't cheated on you because it was just a one-night fling. It didn't mean anything. She doesn't even think about this guy too much. And she used a condom with him, and she never uses one with you. So this is the way a woman's mind works. Most women, I'm sure there are exceptions, but in general. So women and men think of honesty completely different. Remember that. So finding an honest woman with your view of what honesty is may be difficult. Let's go.
Partner, an Israeli guy that I dated for a while, it turned into like a 2-week-long argument.
Oh God, what happened?
Why? Because he just kept asking more and more questions.
Was the
He
number
wanted more
high?
details.
That's why he wanted to know? Was it someone?
Was the number high? Was that why he wanted to know? She never gives the number because she knows. So this narrative that women can go out and sleep around just like men and it's the same is ridiculous. Okay, for one thing, it affects women psychologically worse than it does men. Men can do it, but even men, if they get up into the hundreds, and some men have, it can affect them over the long period of time. Okay, so well, listen to what she says here.
Someone that you slept with? Do you want to know more about that specific one?
So
what are you willing to
it's
say?
like they don't want. I don't love talking about body counts, but I I think it was because I was in a time in my life where, and this is a little painful to talk about, but like a lot of women experience this where they're navigating sexuality and they end up having a bad experience.
Let me translate that womanese for you. Navigating sexuality means they're out there in their party garden tool phase.
And then they jump back into that world and they're not really taking care of themselves.
And Rollo is sitting there just smiling at them because this is exactly what he talks about, how they are. Now, some of you guys may think that Rollo Tomasi he's a red pill. And I know some people think red pill is just terrible, it's toxic, it's this, it's that. And I do agree, some red pill creators, I can't watch them because if I watch too much of them, even if I'm trying to glean out what I like, they really bash on women. And there's nothing wrong with women. Women are the way they are, and men are the way that we each have a nature. We have to accept that. It doesn't mean they're bad, no more than when they look at us because they don't like what men do and how men are. We aren't bad either. We each have our natures about us, okay?
And in some cases, I think it's even self-harm. So for me, like, I would say there was a time in my...
Now, she's relating having a high body count or going out and sleeping around with a lot of men as self-harm, as like cutting yourself or something. Because she knows, just like all women know, that it does damage to them, to their soul, their spirit, their emotions, psychologically. I don't know why, it just does. But women and men are different. We are not the same. Women are usually not as emotionally and physically strong as a man in general. Actually, 99% of men are stronger emotionally and physically than men or than women. Of course, now in today's society in the US and the West, that may not be true because men are becoming weaker and more feminized.
In my life where my body count was getting a little bit higher than I necessarily needed it to be. So
she knows.
He kept prying and it just wasn't something I wanted to discuss, you know? So
when you said you weren't taking care of yourself, how do you mean?
I think
physically, emotionally, mentally, what do you mean?
Well, I think when you share your body with another person, it takes a huge toll, whether...
There you go. When you share your body with another person, it takes a huge toll. And I think what she would... Probably more what she means there is when you share your body liberally with a lot of people, because in a committed relationship, I think it would actually build, I know that it actually builds you up. And the same for the man too. If you get a good woman and you guys are sharing yourselves with each other, it actually forms a strong bond and you are actually stronger together than you would be apart.
Whether that's, I mean, a toll is usually negative, but like it has an effect on you, whether negative or positive. So I think a lot of women experiment with sexuality and it becomes kind of like a self-soothing kind of thing, even though it harms them. Like, you know how people cut themselves because it feels good in the...
She's comparing women having sex with a high number of men as with cutting yourself, self-harm. So, and this is an educated woman. I think she has some standing. I'll put the link in the description and you can check it out yourself.
Good in the moment, even though it's harming themselves.
No.
So sex is like cutting yourself.
So I think sex,
She's saying that, like,
sex in the wrong
people,
circumstances with the wrong people in the wrong headspace. Yeah, absolutely.
So Torsia is her name. She's comparing sex with cutting yourself with the wrong people in the wrong headspace. So basically what she's saying is sex is like self-harm when you're just out there giving yourself to every man that wants to be with, or every man that she's attracted to and wants to be with her.
Tori, go ahead.
Nothing. I was just gonna say, like, in excess, I think is what she's trying to say. People like sex addiction or whatever, but amongst women.
Yeah, it's to comfort yourself.
Are you always truthful with the guy you're with if he asks you?
I would hope that no man asks me. I
But
think
if
it's
a guy
horrible.
did, if a guy did,
She does not want to be asked. So this narrative about women can sleep around like men and it doesn't matter, they all know that this is bullshit, okay? they don't want to say their body count. As where a man, now Rollo goes on to say that a man should not share his body count with a woman because it will be used against you. He's probably right, but I really wouldn't care. But myself, I don't know what my body count is because back then I didn't keep track, all right? But it wouldn't matter to me. I don't care. If a woman asked me, I would tell her what I thought it was. I would give her an estimate. And I don't care. If she doesn't like it, I don't care. But that's what Rollo says. That's his opinion. But I know it does matter to a man. But they go on to say that even if she tells them, he's going to wonder if she's lying or not. And that's also true too. But some of these women, like myself, I can't remember all the women I was with. I didn't write their names down. I didn't keep track. Guys do now, I suppose. Some men do. But if a woman can't remember the name of every man she slept with, that's too many bodies, at least for me. Now, that's not too many for me to go out with her and have a good time and have fun. And I'm not saying that there's not exceptions, that if you met a girl that couldn't remember all the men she slept with, that you couldn't have a good relationship with her. But statistically, the more bodies she has, if it gets up into double digits, she has a hard time pair bonding. She can't stay with a man as easily as someone who's only been with 1, 2, or 3 partners, or maybe 5. Okay, because it's easy for her just to go out and jump on another guy. The same as a person who drinks. Once he takes that first drink, then he takes another and another. And he has to stop because he's drank so much that it's just easy for him to start drinking again and go crazy with it. It's always easier once you cross a certain line of doing something. A lot of times it becomes a habit. It becomes easier to fall back into it. It's just the way we humans are made. As opposed to someone, because I've been with both. I've been with virgins, and I've had long-term relationships with girls who had never been with anybody but me. I've had long terms with girls who had only been with me and maybe 1 or 2 other guys because I knew them, I grew up around them. And I've been with girls that's had double-digit guys. And double-digit girls, body count girls, they generally want to try to still live a single life, but yet be your girlfriend, or could be your lover, your wife, your mistress, whatever it happens to be. They are just too quick to go out with another guy because they become accustomed to it. It's easy for them. In contrast to a girl who is, maybe you married her and she was a virgin, or you were her first man and you're going together, she doesn't want to go out and be with another guy. She doesn't want to start over again. She wants to stay with the guy she started with. And she will work with you to make the relationship functional and happy and satisfying for you. She'll put in the effort, as opposed to just, well, I go out and jump on another guy. I don't have to tolerate this.
Did. Say, how many boyfriends have you been? Like, if you
Sure.
pose the
sure.
question in a tactful manner.
No, you lie in that instance.
You would.
There's
you would lie.
no good.
She said right there, you lie. Lie about your body count. That's what she's advising people to do. So, do you think you can trust her? I guess not. I would rather a girl just say, I don't want to tell you. Why lie about it? Just say, I'd rather not say. Of course, that's going to let you know she's probably got a high number, or at least she's embarrassed about the number of men she's been with. Doesn't make her a bad person. I'm not saying these women are bad because they've had a lot of men. What I'm saying is their pair bonding ability is hindered by this.
A number to give them. None. Am
Gotcha.
I right or am I wrong? Because what? You
'Cause
say
if the numbers-
1,
Yeah.
they think you're lying. They always think you're lying.
They're gonna think it's 5 times as much as you say.
Because a lot
What
of
is sex? I've never heard of that before. That's my answer.
Well,
no
I'd like to
hymen,
know.
no diamond.
No, what's say that? Hold on, I've never heard that. What was that?
Now, they go on to talk about no hymen, no diamond, which means if you're not a virgin, you don't get my commitment or get a diamond. There's some rap song that talks about that. And that's why virginity is so valued. Guess what? Because it's rare. And if a girl goes out and sleeps with a lot of other men, she's not rare. She's not, it lowers her value because she's given herself to everybody. Not everybody, but she's given herself to a lot of different men. So I would compare it to a woman. If you told her, you would say, if I had an iPhone, a brand new iPhone, and an iPhone that had been used by 15 or 20 people, which one would you rather have? And of course, she's going to say the new iPhone. So you can use that as an analogy if you get into that conversation with a woman. But it's true. No man wants a woman. Say no man. Most men don't want a woman who has been with a lot of different men. Because when they go out, or a woman who's been on OnlyFans, okay, they want them to have fun with, to party with, to jump in the sack with. But as far as having a committed relationship with them, a man doesn't want a woman that other men have been looking at, have been seeing her naked and doing certain things that they do on OnlyFans, or walking down the street with your woman, regardless of how good looking she is, wondering if that guy's been with her, this guy or that guy. It's just it's a territorial paternity type thing. He doesn't want to be wondering who else has been sleeping with her. Now, there are men that are weak and they'll take whatever they can get, that will tolerate those kinds of things, but most men, a man that can provide a woman with the type of life that most women want these days, doesn't want that. Doesn't want a woman like that for anything other than just to go out and party and have a good time. And if that's all the woman wants, then that's great. Live that lifestyle. The only challenge or downside of that is when she gets older and wants to find a man, when she starts hitting 25 to 30 and wants to find a man to settle down with and to have kids, she's going to have a difficult time finding those high-value men that were chasing her, that she was giving herself to when she was younger. And that's the kind of man she wants. But she'll end up settling for someone who will provide for her, a beta, a weak man who will do whatever she wants. But she'll never be satisfied with him or happy with him. And she'll wonder, before she takes this weak man, where all the good men went. Well, she had all the good men. She gave herself to all of them, didn't try to latch on to one of them because she wanted to go from man to man, thinking that her youth, her beauty, and her power was going to last forever. And this is a sad, unfortunate thing, because then you get these women in their 30s, late 20s, where are all the good men? Well, you had all the good men. You had your opportunity, but you passed it by because you wanted to go jump on another guy, to ride the carousel, as they say. That's just the way it is. I didn't make it that way. If you don't like it, go talk to the big guy. It's just the way men think. It's the way society is. Maybe in 1,000, 10,000 years, people won't view it that way. Maybe women's biological nature will change and they will be able to sleep around like men. I don't know. But today, this is how it is. So remember that. That's all I got for today. If you would like to get my help personally, you can contact me through my website, marksinspiration.com. I'll put the email in the description. I will put the link to this short video here. I think you should watch it. It will give you some idea of how women's nature is and how it works. And that's all I got time for today. Remember, we have a video every day. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I will see you tomorrow.